Hey everybody, this is Talkative Carl back again for another movie spoiler review for this month of October. And today we'll be reviewing easily one of the best Tim Burton films, Nightmare Before Christmas. Now this is more story he's helped with the story. He didn't direct this one. It's probably one of the most misconceptions in cinema that this movie was directed officially by Henry Selick. Um, of course, like he also directed, I think this was his first film, actually in 1993. He also directed a lot of other stop motion films throughout the years, like James and the Giant Peach, which I've seen. I've seen Monkey Bone. He did that. Coraline did that. I didn't see Wendell and Wild. Then he's supposed to be making a new movie to be determined, Little Nightmares, which I'm assuming is going to be another stop motion thing. So he's pretty well versed in like animations, like very he made some very good films throughout his day. I mean, is your opinion if you don't see like half of these as like worth your while? I didn't even see Coraline at first when it came out. Like when it eventually came out on TV, I did see I think once. I don't remember ever returning back to it. It's just you know I like to think like he really I guess Tim Burton might have rubbed off on him a little bit because I don't know. He seems like he carries that Tim Burton aesthetic into other projects that he did after Nightmare Before Christmas. But if you look at this movie, it's like Tim Burton at his Burtonness. Because honestly, it's just so good to look at, especially if you love Halloween as much as I do. And it's like the goth aesthetic. That's why Tim Burton's like easily one of my favorite, arguably probably like my top favorite number one directors of all time. Because I growing up as a child of the 90s, I seen like my fair bit of like because a lot of movies was like very grungy or like goth type of stuff in or extreme, a little less on that last part, but it's just like in the comics at that time everything is about like extreme, kind of aesthetic, like Venom, Spawn, uh, Lobo, they kind of like were like the staples of like 90s extreme stuff. But Tim Burton really like you know he was, I wouldn't say the king of the 90s, but he was definitely like a major contributor to our childhood during that period. And I don't think like we wouldn't have certain stop motion animation if it wasn't for him being like a trailblazer in that craft. Not that he was the first one to do it. It's just he had a just like in his live action films. It's just certain. It's something that he had like an eye with. And of course, I love the first Batman film and the his sequel Batman Returns. Those are easily my probably like the personally my favorite Batmans of all time. I already did the '89 Batman movie as a review, which is also on the channel, so you can check that out. Just side note, don't forget to follow me on my various links to my various channels: Twitch, YouTube, Patreon, uh, and Twitter. There's the links all in the description. But I think like Nightmare Before Christmas is easily the third favorite Tim Burton film that I love to death. And like right at the beginning, you are immediately the music in this is just top notch. Of course, it's Danny Elfman. He always does great work. I don't even think uh I can't even recall a bad Danny Elfman music. It's got to be one that I probably like the least, but I can't think of it right now. But honestly, like I even pulled up the lyrics. 'Cause I got to, because You growing up, you listen to this thing. Uh, so let's just try this out. Hope I don't get demonetized. I'm not gonna play the music, but I'm gonna sing the lyrics here. Boys and girls of every age, wouldn't you like to see something strange? Come with us and you will see. This our town of Halloween. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Pumpkin screams in the dead of night. This is Halloween. Everybody make a scene. Trick or treat till the neighbors come and die of fright. It's our town. It's our town. Everybody scream. In this town of Halloween, I am the one hiding under your bed. Teeth ground sharp and red. Teeth ground sharp and eyes red going red. I am the one hiding under your stairs. Fingers like snakes, spiders in our hair. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween, 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 Halloween. In this town we all come home. Everyone hail to the pumpkin song. In this town, don't we love it now? Everybody's waiting for the next surprise. Round that corner, then hiding in the trash. Something's waiting now to pounce and how you scream. This is Halloween, red and black and slimy green. Aren't you scared? Well, that's just fine. Say it once, say it twice. Take a chance and roll the dice. Ride with the moon in the dead of night. Everybody scream, everybody scream. In our town of Halloween, I am the clown with the tearaway face. Here in the flash, gone without a trace. I am the who when you call, who's there? I am the wind blowing through your hair. I am the shadow on the moonlight. I am the shadow on the moon at night, filling your dreams to brim of night, to the brim with fright. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween, 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 Halloween. Okay, don't want to like just making this whole musical, but you get the point. Because I'm tripping myself up. But it's just you. If there was like a musical soundtrack, because Christmas has like a various wide range of genres for soundtracks, like R&B to rap and country and classical and pop and just in various things. But I think Halloween definitely deserves like an album soundtrack, like the Hocus Pocus music from that movie, Nightmare Before Christmas, maybe like a theme like from the first Halloween movie, that thing, the Scooby-Doo stuff, like the Hex Girls or the Scooby-Doo main theme, or like crap, there's various stuff from Scooby-Doo that you can easily put into like that Halloween. It's some like it's music like that gets you in the Halloween spirit. You know what I mean? And you just play all that on loop. I'm pretty sure you can easily make like well over like a dozen or so songs in one album. That's somebody should do, because honestly, Halloween is easily like tied with like Christmas as far as like the best holiday of all time, and it like darn near everybody celebrates around the globe. I don't know about around the globe, but just like maybe a good 90% of the world, could easily celebrate Halloween in its various forms. I think probably less so with Christmas, because not everybody believe in Christ and all that other stuff, or they just are firm like Hanukkah, celebrate Hanukkah more so, or Kwanzaa probably less so, but still though it's just like very distinct when it comes to the the other festive season. But Halloween, I think good 90% of the world, probably even maybe 95% of the world, possibly equally celebrates this time of the year, because it's just All Hallows Eve. It's just fun. You get to go out, drink, just dress up. If you have kids, you get treats and pass out candy to kids dress them in outrageous costumes. If you get older, you get to like go out and party with friends. Just like a night of just not only like like a night of fright. You just go out to like some people back in the day like go to like cemeteries where they have these little various things where like trying to make it through like a cemetery while people try to scare you with some other stuff, and you can win money. Or you can like go into like a cemetery to watch a horror movie, or you go to one of those events where it's like the amusement parts, like Fright Fest in like different amusement parks like Six Flags or something like that. Or me personally, I'm going to a bar crawl. I can just dress up and go out, drink, socialize, and just have like a night out of fun. I used to like, well, probably next year because I don't feel comfortable this year to do so. But I previously, go on this little yacht party thing for Halloween, and that's equally as fun. You just dance, party like on a yacht, or you looking out on the horizon. It's just like a whole lot of fun. And you look at the night sky, Chicago night sky, and everything like that. It's just baller. Halloween is just like a baller night, just a party. It's like the biggest party night, of yeah, of the year. But anyway, back to the movie. We open with Jack, the Pumpkin King, who's pretty much like well, there's a mayor, but he's pretty much like the de facto leader, almost. Just not official, but kind of like the real leader of Halloween Town. And this is another thing. The mayor, who is voiced by Glenn Shaddix. The mayor is for the longest time, because his voice sounds like John Goodman, even to this day. Even though I eventually learned who voiced him after a certain period, it just sounds like John Goodman to me. For the longest time, it's like I cannot separate. In my brain, it's just like I hear the voice, all I'm thinking is John Goodman. And I can see the face of John Goodman. If you put any kind of Emperor's New Groove, that's what I'm thinking of right now, as an example. He played Appa. I think that's the guy's name, Appa, in Emperor's New Groove. And if you play like a line like side by side from Nightmare Before Christmas, from the mayor speaking, and his character and like John Goodman's character in Emperor's New Groove, play it back to back, it sounds similar to me. It's like they got the same vocal tones or something. I don't know. But anyway, Jack, you learned that, they just finished celebrating Halloween in the mortal world. And Jack is just becoming more of a... He feels like he's, stagnant in life. It's like he's been doing this, every year. And I guess he's like bored. He's, it's kind of like when I did my review for like Death Note, which is also just put on the channel. And it's kind of like Ryuk, where it's like he is just bored and he's looking for something. Well, kind of like Ryuk in a vein of he's bored with like the mundane. It's kind of working a job almost. It's like the old saying is like, if you're doing something that you love, it's not work. But you might run to a situation where something that you love can become work, kind of situation. I'm kind of butchering that a bit, but that's what's happening with Jack. He's like, he loves obviously being the Pumpkin King of Halloween Town, and bringing like fun terror everywhere. But it's like it's become routine. You kind of want to mix it up a bit. So watching from afar, there's like this ragdoll named Sally, who, speaking of which, now on the subject of Sally, because not even just her, but it's like Jack and various other characters from this movie is, these characters have been used a lot for costumes for Halloween many times. It's like, you talking about a marketable movie. It's just only one movie, and I hope to God they don't make a sequel to this, because it's like, just like Back to the Future. No, I won't say Back to the Future. It's like, well, even Back to the Future or like Ghostbusters. There's certain movies that really cannot be updated in any way, or especially after years, for being so long ago. Because this came out in like 1993, and it's already 2021. Can you imagine if they announced a sequel to Nightmare Before Christmas? People will lose their shit. And I would probably agree, because this is not something that you should remake, because it's very a niche thing. And it's like, because I don't know if it did, because I was a toddler. I didn't go see this in the theaters, but not imagine, but at least heard rumblings that it did not do exceptionally well immediately at the box office. But through, of course, of time, maybe after like several months to a year or more, eventually it starts, because especially when it came out on VHS or TV, it's just became like just like a fun watch every Halloween, plus Christmas, because it's kind of like, I think Nightmare Before Christmas is like one of the reasons. I wouldn't say it's the sole reason, but it's one of the reasons why every, like we get like Halloween a month earlier than necessary. Like you go to the stores like around September, you're already seeing like Halloween candy and decorations being put up in stores. And then halfway, at least getting close to near like a week before Halloween, you're already seeing like, well, matter of fact, no, halfway through October, you're already seeing like, as Halloween approaches, you're already seeing like Thanksgiving stuff in stores, like decorations and everything already being put up. And then halfway through November, you're already seeing Christmas and then like New Year stuff being already put up. And it's like, it's all out of whack. Because, even though September is kind of like a blank kind of month. But at the very earliest, the last day of September, up until a point of Halloween, up until the point of a day before Halloween, that is when as I remember as a kid, that should be like the, all right, that's only Halloween. That's the only thing we should be seeing in stores and concerned with. By the time the day of or the day after Halloween, that's when we should see only Thanksgiving stuff up until the point of the day before Thanksgiving's Eve. Because honestly, if you're dumb enough to not get anything done for Thanksgiving up until even like Christmas, up until the point of the day before, a day or two before the actual holiday, you're an idiot. Because it's scarce and, it's crazy expensive. In my mindset, I make sure that, like, especially when it comes to Christmas gift, I make sure that I get it done at some point in November, because I ain't trying to deal with the hassle during the course of December, because that's going to be hectic too. Because during like after Thanksgiving, then you get Black Friday. So by that point, up until the day or two before Christmas Eve, that's when you're supposed to be handling all Christmas stuff. That's the only thing we should be concerned with. And then like after Christmas Day, that's when from that point to January, or at least to the point of December 31st, we should be concerned only with New Year's. But then it's all like just, earliest we can get it out. And like, just bring back what my earliest point, Nightmare Before Christmas, it's so iconic that like everybody, it's like if you see certain stores, not even just Halloween costumes. This like there's a friend of mine like I used to know in my old job, and she was like a cool chick. I can't remember if it was socks or pair of pants, or a backpack. It was one of the three, and it's like decorated with Jack Skellington's face, and it's just like a very marketable, character. and like all the characters are just very remarkable people. It's like you'd be hard pressed not to know who these characters are unless you are a toddler who has no uh, nostalgia to it because it's probably new to them. So it's kind of like you know, it's just like it permeated the culture so well to the point where it's like, it's kind of like Superman and Batman. Everybody knows who those characters are, even if you probably haven't read anything or like, seen any movies or TV shows. It's permeated the culture so much is that like you've seen it and you know who they are, or maybe you've seen it once in something, but uh, is yeah, but yeah, I think like Nightmare Before Christmas is just like a touchstone of an icon that should not be like touched. It's just like a piece of just history at this point. Uh, anyway, uh, it's a fun thing. Like Jack actually got this little ghost dog named Zero. I always liked that ghost dog. Is he didn't say much but just barking, but it's like the look. The look in this, like I already mentioned about the the stop motion. I won't say stop motion, but it's kind of like the claymation or stop motion. You know what I mean. It's just those are great, but you get like Zero, who's just like a ghostly apparition, and it's like I don't know. Maybe I gotta watch some kind of behind the scenes video or something how they make it, but it's just like the way they have Zero look is just like so well done as like just to make a legit ghost. It's just like the best looking ghost in like a film. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's other stuff that's just as well, but it's just like it's something about Zero that's like that's how I probably expect, because it's a kind of like a stereotypical kind of like ghost with just like a white sheet with holes in it in the eyes and stuff like that, and just ooh, like you see from Beetlejuice when they dress in like those little sheets and bed sheets and stuff like that. It's just like one of those things. It's very kind of cartoony, but the whole transparency, the way they made that look is so well done. I love it. Jack, wanders through like the forest, and he eventually come across, because it was like a dead wooded forest. He eventually come across these group of trees surrounding the area, each with like a door with a different emblem on it. One for things, with a turkey symbol with Thanksgiving, one with the egg for Easter, uh, uh, and then he come across, a door with a Christmas tree on it, and of course, like the knob is of course look like a ornament. So he obviously was transfixed. So he opened the door and he fell into this portal that leads him to Christmas Town. Now, here's the thing I just want to point out, because I always wondered, how is it that as he's wandering, he doesn't come from a door himself out? Because it should be like one of those trees should be like a door with a pumpkin on it to symbolize Halloween. He just walked through a little wooded forest and he somehow ended up in like a group of trees with different holiday emblems on it. But he should have came through a door into that forest and see these other various doors from other holiday towns. I never understood why that was so different, because they could have just wandered into like it's like a pathway, and he came from his own pathway and he wandered like a not like a fork in a road, but various roads leading to different holiday towns, and like he just wandered into like a there's like a sign that point to like Christmas Town or something like that. He goes that way, or the other direction's Easter Town or something like that. I thought the probably would have been like make more sense. At least to me, it would have made more sense. But it's just like, why didn't he just come? If there was supposed to represent a door, He should have been shown coming through out his own door, not just coming through the forest, because you never see like a door to Halloween Town. But he falls through the Christmas door, and uh, he starts saying like, "What's this? What's this? It's magic everywhere." Then he is mesmerized about all the Christmas decoration, the snow, the elves he's seen. And then he got a glimpse of Santa Claus, and then he started like getting an inkling of what he's dealing with. So this is supposed to represent like, okay, I think I found it. I think I found what I'm looking for. Something completely different from what I'm doing, and I want to bring this to my town. So he gathered a few things, came back, and called a town meeting and everything like that. Oh, I mentioned about Sally, yeah, because that's how I got into the whole costume thing. Yeah, Sally is like a lot of people dress as like especially couples like to dress as Sally and Jack Skellington. It's kind of like cliche almost at this point, because like you're gonna come across somebody dressed as Sally and Jack Skellington with the Sally in like a scarecrow patchwork ragdoll thing. She's pretty much being held captive by her maker. It's kind of like Dr. Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster situation, but this is a woman who's feeling like she has to be held captive to always look out for this weird old doctor. And he's kind of funny. You get to see in one moment where he's like open up his own head to scratch his brain as he's thinking. It's like it's less little touches like that really like gets you invested. Like this is like what you're in for these kind of situations. You're like nothing's impossible with Halloween Town, because these people are various creatures. You get like certain like 3 group of vampires that's like when it's out in the daytime, you get to see them wearing like using umbrellas and stuff like that. They called the town meeting, and Jack is showing them about like got presents and a Christmas tree and everything like that. And like the people of the town don't know what they seen. They never experienced Christmas before, so they making wild assumptions about the present. Like wasn't a severed head, or like filled with bugs, or like diseases or something like. It's like they're so, that's their thing. It's kind of like the Addams Family. Like whatever the harshest or grossest thing they can think of, that's like a fun thing to them. And Jack's trying to explain, but he ends up like placating to their just to get them to understand at least someone. He placates to their the way their way of thinking. So it's like he calls Santa Claus this clause with the WS at the end, and making him like a frightening creature so that they can be excited about this. But he's trying to like bring that to Halloween, and he's having a tough time understanding himself somewhat. He's getting an inkling, but he's just not there. He's running experiments on like toys and candy canes, and like he's reading up all these books. Like he mentioned, like he read Christmas Carol, like every kind of version of Christmas Carol there is, and he's just not like, what does it mean? And he's just like it's like Christmas obviously is not something that is explained by logic. It's just like it sounds corny, but just like a feeling. It's it's just the traditions and like just being around others that you care about. That's why he's like always, you hear from like certain movies like it's not fun to celebrate Christmas alone. It's it is depressing if you celebrating Christmas by yourself without any friends or family to be around. It kind of makes Christmas empty. It is an empty feeling that you wake up Christmas morning, or even like before, even before Christmas morning, you to throughout like the month of like leading into December, leading in from November into December, you're like worrying about getting the right gifts for people, and like that's why people like standing out in the long lines on Black Friday to get like various items for people they want to shop for. You watch Christmas, like my thing. I love watching cheesy Hallmark Christmas movies, which I plan on making you know, uh, like a handful of those for like Christmas. Like I'm doing Halloween themed movie reviews. I'm going to be doing like Christmas themed movie reviews. Not even the classic ones like Home Alone, but also just Christmas Hallmark movies, and just doing like some reviews of that and bringing it to the channel. Just you know, it's cheesy, and usually I don't like that kind of stuff, but it's something about those that I keep coming back to. At the very least, I try to. If there's new, I want to try to see like, okay, the descriptions. Like, is it something I might be a little bit invested in just to watch, or if it's like, I remember there's one, there's my Christmas in crap. It's something about like two country music stars and uh uh what's that country music award show thing they call it. I don't know, it's something like Christmas in a Lone Star State, or like not even that. It's like like I said, like two musical gifted people like me finding love through Christmas, and it's like something like that. I'm really not into that. It usually doesn't like appeal to me. It's like something that like, because I'm not that much of a music guy, I don't think that appeals to me. Like like to like a pianist or and a violinist meet each other to help with this uh opera, to orchestra to make it, or something like that. It's like something like that really doesn't appeal to me. But every so often it's like something new, or better yet, there's always a few that kind of stood out for me through like each year around Christmas, that if it pops up again, I might see it again, because it's every once in a while there is something that might appeal to me, that like it doesn't suck so much, or at least it's not like a corny thing as most others are. I think over the years they've gotten a little bit better with some of their Christmas Hallmark movies, more so than any other time of the year when it's like really cheesy, corny rom-coms. But anyway, uh, Sally, for some reason, getting this premonition, which is like a weird thing that she's never seen done previously or any time after this, where she's like at one moment, pulling like a limb from, or at least a dead flower, and it booms into like like that kind of, it looks kind of like the cheesy almost dead Christmas tree that you see from the Charlie Brown Christmas special, and like with like the ornaments and the light on top and stuff like that, but then burns up into flames. This frightens her, and which gives her the kind of like a signal that Christmas is gonna burn if this if Jack continues this path he's on. And throughout the time, because he has clear feelings for him, she's like, he's the guy next door that she's longing for. She, makes her, because when she see him working in his little tower lab thing, she somehow make this makeshift like, like throw a grappling hook over something, and then you hook up a bucket with like various things, and then you pull it, and it elevates to like the level that you wanted to go to. So she makes sure he's eating and drinking while he's like, because she knows he probably like working himself too hard, and he needs to make sure he's like satiated. So it's like things like that. It's like the shy girl kind of thing, that's the nice shy girl. And Sally's pretty cool in this. And it's probably like one of those rare moments when like the romance like, I'm really not. Most movies or even TV shows that matter don't do romances all that well. In my other reviews like I did recently, I can't remember which one, but I brought up how like there's very few movies that do romance well. This movie does it pretty well. Deadpool, the first movie, did it very well, and there was like another one. Uh, I forgot on what it was, but it's so it's so rare that it's done right, and it's not like they don't fall into those corny little tropes. And I like the romance between Jack and Sally. It's healthy. It makes sense, and they don't fall into cliches. There's no will they, won't they, or the issue with uh uh there's always like this love triangle BS. Which, come to think of it, even the Christmas Hallmark movies, I try to make sure like whatever ones I watch doesn't placate so much on that. It's hard to avoid that sometimes with them, because it's not maybe like a love triangle as much, but definitely that like I misunderstand something, so I can't talk to you anymore. Instead of just talking it out, they just like, we can't do this anymore because you lied to me, or it's like, you was hiding things from me, kind of thing. It's like that kind of crap. But this is like a great relationship, honestly, or at least healthy one that that you can see growing. But Jack, organizes, different people from the Halloween town to do certain things, like the local orchestra in town. He makes sure that they learn certain Christmas songs like Jingle Bells. And he wants Sally to make his Santa suit because he wants to bring Christmas to people for a night, and just like, and then have like 3 local kids, lock, stock, and barrel, which they're fun, and they have like an awesome musical number too. Their masks are they're like their own faces in like mask format. I think that was pretty fun. But they're in charge to kidnapping Santa Claus to bring him to Halloween Town, so Jack can give him a break so he can deliver presents for one Christmas night. At first, it was a funny little moment. At first, they end up kidnapping the Easter Bunny. Nobody knows who he is, but it's clearly the Easter Bunny. But it's like Jack tells him like, okay, no, that's not the guy I want. Take him back and go get Santa Claus. It would have been fun if they kidnapped, like at least 2 more different holiday icons, just to, because like sometimes comedy comes in threes, and it's like it'd be funny like they mistake him again, got the Easter Bunny, then went out and got the St. Patrick's Day leprechaun, and then like Cupid for Valentine's Day before they eventually get Santa Claus. That I thought would have been funny as hell. But they end up getting him, and Jack assures him like, don't worry, Santa, you're on vacation tonight. I'll handle things for him here. And then the boys end up taking well, at least I think one of them was a girl. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, the children take Santa to their hideaway, where like they're like part of, like, at least they work somehow in association with Oogie Boogie, like another like icon from this movie. But it's like he when he shows up in the third act to fight Jack, I usually skip it, honestly, because it's kind of boring. I mean, I like the look of Oogie Boogie. I like the voice actor of Oogie Boogie. But if you take him out, I don't think you miss much, to be honest with you. Because he wasn't set up. If he was like Scar from The Lion King, he was easily, obviously set up to be the villain. But you get to meet him early in the film, he comes in like every so often, leading into like the second act. So he's clearly established. He's like the main villain that the hero is gonna have to deal with at the end. You didn't get that with Oogie Boogie. You hear him once when like the boys go get their tools that they need to kidnap Santa Claus. So they go back to the hideaway and they like feed Oogie Boogie in their little, I guess to keep him trapped in like either basement or underground dungeon or something like that. But it's like beyond that, it's like he's wasn't even much of a threat. I honestly think like you could have had Sally's mad scientist to be like the bad guy if you needed one, because he showed up a lot more throughout this film, kind of harassing and holding Sally hostage in a way, kind of like Rapunzel. He literally locked her in a tower, so all she's meant to do, which looking back, it would be that's another thing that would be problematic. The fact that if this kind of movie was made today, oh my God, the level of hate people have, like this toxic masculinity quote unquote thing where this mad scientist is holding this girl hostage just to cook and clean for him and stuff like that, and he's not letting her be herself, whatever. But which I like Sally, and she like a clever way just to find different ways to escape by tricking him into drinking certain knockout poisons, and like just to be able to escape. And it's almost fun to just see her just like just get one over on this dude who's supposed to be like a smart genius, and he's like getting fooled by his own creation. It's so funny to me. Jack goes through like because he had the scientists make his robotic reindeer and make all these various creepy toys that Jack delivers to various houses. And it's probably the creepiest part of the movie almost, because like some toys just come alive and try to attack the kids, and then like he delivers like a severed shrunken head to one kid that freaks out the parents, and like news reports coming in every broadcast talking about like Santa Claus is on a rampage. He's like leaving all these horrible things in people's houses, lock your doors and chimneys and stuff like that. And like they even call in the military to shoot Santa Claus down. It's like, holy crap. So like Jack falls into like the cemetery. Ironically, he sings a number, come to realization that like like, hey, like well, pretty much like how do I put it, it's like his song is just represents like you're good at what you do kind of situation, and don't take it for granted, something like that. Like, don't take things for granted kind of situation, which kind of is like, I guess, the moral of Jack's arc, and just that he stopped appreciating what he does. He's trying to take over somebody else's work, thinking it's gonna fulfill him. He lacks fulfillment, or at least lost the fulfillment that he got from bringing Halloween to the mortal world, and he's trying to fill that void with some other holiday that I'm assuming. And if this turned out to be a success, that's like a what if this turned out to be a success, I'm pretty sure some point down the line, Jack will eventually get bored of that and try to move on to some other holiday, and all the while ruining other holidays that he has no clue how it works. Clearly, because he even tried to like do all the science and reading and research and he still doesn't get it. And it's like you got your own lane that you do very well in, and you have to find a way to uh, fill a void if it feels empty, or try to mix it up on your own thing. Like, you know, like it's saying, I could use me for an example. Like, you know, I started doing like these on camera stuff to talk about like comics and other various topics, and like TV shows, and so I can talk about it. Because you know, I like talking about with certain friends and stuff like that, but it's like, you know, they're not always around or not always want to hear that kind of stuff. And I like to get it out. So at first I started as just like a video game walkthrough kind of channel. Then it kind of like just my creativity kind of put me in a position to like, hey, you got more to bring, just mix it up a bit. And like I start going to other stuff to talk about, to do on this channel. So, you know, that's something Jack has to do. It's like, yes, overall you are a Halloween guy, but you can do something with that, turn it on its head or shake things up a bit, but still maintain the lane kind of situation. Do something special. That's what he had to learn. But Sally, is his anchor in a way. In the end, after they save Santa from Oogie Boogie, uh, Jack apologizes for ruining Christmas, and he's like, "Is anything I can do?" It's like, Sally assures him, like, let him handle it. He knows what to do, because that's Santa's lane. He's been doing it so long. He knows how to correct things if it's messed up. So he goes, all over the world in like a flash, and like taking away all these horrible monstrosities, and give proper toys or other gifts to these kids what they actually wanted. And like one kid, gets a candy cane from Santa. It's like, who asked for a candy cane as a Christmas gift? That's so weak. Anyway, what happens in the end is probably my favorite part of the film, is where Santa comes back to Halloween Town and makes it snow there, and like like a cool white Christmas to Halloween Town, something that they never experienced before, and they find like some joy in it. And it makes, it's kind of like the way like Batman Returns, or how like Tim Burton makes snowfall look so pretty in anything he does. I don't know what is it that he does that makes wintertime in his film so beautiful. It is the gothic part mixed with it is making it like come alive in a way. Maybe it's that, but I just love the way the snow looks in here and in Batman Returns. It's like the best looking snow I've ever seen in my life. And coming from a guy from Chicago, that's saying a lot, because it can snow like a Dickens here. And then it's like this cool line between Jack and Santa, where Santa wishes Jack a happy Halloween, as Jack wishes Santa a Merry Christmas. It's kind of like, I love that, because it's kind of like a love letter and a nice like a respect from both. It's like kind of like Superman and Batman shaking hands as like a term of respect. Even though they do things, they bring joy to the world in different ways, but they accomplish the same thing. And like they won't be able to do each other's methods to achieve that, but they respect how each other work. And it's kind of like watching them in a way vocally, kind of like shaking hands, like, I respect what you do, and what you do is like just awesome. And like it is like saying that back to each other, and just the most simplest of things, just wishing each other a Merry Christmas and a Happy Halloween. I love that. That's my favorite part of the entire film, just to see these two holiday icons. Just like, I mean, honestly, I think Jack became like a de facto Halloween icon to be like the face of Halloween. Uh, but yeah, it's just like just these two icons, just like, yeah, just like a term of endearment and respect towards each other and their respective holidays. I thought that was awesome. Uh, and then you see like Jack and Sally, you know, that gnarled up, cliff on that in that graveyard is such an iconic shot that every time you see it, you know where it's from. You don't even have to see any other image, but like a gnarled up uh, cliff or hill area in front of like a bright yellow moonlight, and you know exactly what it's supposed to represent. It's kind of like Superman's S symbol. You know what it is, or Captain America's shield. You know what it is. And Sally and Jack, acknowledge their love for each other, and they share a kiss on top of the hill, and the movie ends. Honestly, like I said, this is like a spectacular movie. I mean, it's not for. I don't imagine it could be for everyone, but I think anybody who's in my generation, especially who grew up in the '90s, loved the hell out of this film. I mean, maybe not everybody who grew up in the same generation as me, but it's like it's like a major staple in pop culture at this point. And the story is phenomenal. The art and animation is phenomenal. The music, especially, is definitely phenomenal. Like, everybody put their foot in it in this film, and I can't imagine why, like, right out the gate, it didn't do that well right away, because it had a budget of 24 million, but the box office revenue was 91.5 million. I'm not sure at that time it was either low or high, because things change over time. Because now it probably seemed like, well, not a bomb, but it's kind of like it doesn't get close to the billion marker. It's not like success. It's like average. But through the course of time, it at least when it came out on TV or in VHS, it became like a cultural hit. And like because maybe it's because like the adults of that time, while me being like a toddler and most others probably haven't been born yet or about to be born, the adults at that time probably didn't have that much appreciation, that much for that film as much as should have. But it still kind of found its audience like just within like a year time, and getting towards up to the present day. And like every year around Christmas and Halloween, people still come back to this. And matter of fact, by the 1st of October, you always hear, like, you get two things: either Hocus Pocus or this movie, where it's like the announcement of the Halloween season. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. 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 And it's like it gets you in the mood for the season, and I just love it. It's like easily one of my favorite holidays, and this movie kind of like really established that to its fullest. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. Did you love it if you recently watched it for the first time, or if you already had seen it throughout the years? Do you still love it? Does it still hold up for you? Is there anything that you probably did not like about it at all, if there's any? But what did you like most about it, and what really stuck out to you? But yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff to Talkative Carl on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. The links are in the description. And I'll see you guys next time for the next review. So